Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing well and enjoying with my Python playlist. This video is also from the Python playlist, and in this video we'll talk about the zip inbuilt function. By end of this video you will be very much familiar what is zip under the hood, how zip function works, and in which scenario we should use the zip function. So let's get started. Let me share my screen and we'll understand with the code zip inbuilt function. Perfect, guys. So I have created this zip ipynb file, and if you want to access this notebook after this video, where you can find this? Yes, in the video description. Perfect. So now understand why is zip required and what is zip inbuilt function. So this time I'll not give the definition. I'll just first try to write a code, and I want you to interpret what is the zip function. Okay, so let's say that I have one over here. Let me take some few lines over here. Now let's say that I have one list over here. So I'll take, let's say, a num equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Perfect. And second, I have a num2 equal to let's say 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8. What I want as the expected output is expected output. What I want a list. Let's say I want one result should be a list. Under that it should be, from the first list it should be 1, from the second list should be 5, and then again comma, and here it should be second index element from the first list and second index element from the second list. Okay, then I need the third index element from the first list and third index element from the second list, so and so on for the very last one as well. So over here if you see, so what I want, basically I want to combine both the list element index wise. So from this first list and second list I want to combine index wise, and same for this, and same for this one, and same for this one as well. So how we can achieve this expected output, whatever I have mentioned over here. So what I will do, I'll take the for loop. For I in a range of, I'll take the length of any one num list, I mean, because both the lists have a same length. Perfect. After that, what I want over here is, before this for loop, I want one empty list, guys. Result equal to one empty list. Then over here, what I'll do, I'll take this result list and I will append over here the num, which is I have defined on the top. Nums of I means each index I want to slice out and get the element, and then nums of I over here as well, and then close this with the bracket. Perfect. This way it will be, and it should be num2. Perfect. Now execute this part and execute this part. After that, let's try to print the result as well. So you have this expected output as an actual output. Perfect. Now how it have been achieved? So if you see that I have taken one empty list over here, then I am taking the length of number. So this variable having a length of 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So it will give the index of 0, 1, 2, 3, and I'm giving the range. It means that it will try to get the value from 0 to 3. If you try to print your I is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then I'm taking this result over here, this empty list, and appending means you are try to add something at the end of the list. Okay, so append, I pass this num of I means at one iteration, very first iteration, num of 0, that will be this 1, and for the num2 I for the first iteration it will be 0, so it will get going to get this 5, and both are combined into one tuple, right? So this way we got the first value 1 comma 5, and this loop will iterate from 0 to 3, and this result will get the list of tuple by its index basis element. I hope it's clear, guys. Right now if I ask you this, this is, to get this result, you have written 1, 2, 3, 4 line of code. And if I ask you, you can get this by one line of code, that is result equal to zip, and over here you pass num comma num2. Okay, and over here you need to pass the list, actually list. Okay, why? Because similar to the last video where I have explained the filter, you need to pass the list over here, otherwise you will get the object of the zip. Now you just run this and try to find out the result, and it is exactly same. So with the definition, what you will see, what is zip? So zip is an inbuilt Python function which is used to combine the element index wise from the given iterable. And iterable can be list, tuple, dictionary, and it can be any number of the list. Let's say that I have another list over here, list that is, let's say num3 equal to 45, 67, 89 and 90, and I will pass over here same num3 and just try to run this. See, done. And if you want to do over here, you just pass again some num3 of I. Num3 is defined, right? Yeah, it should work. Or if it is not, let's take this from here and keep over here and execute this. Perfect. You are able to get this. So what is zip? So zip is nothing but a Python inbuilt function which is used to combine the two or more iterable like list, tuple, dictionary, okay, element wise, and create an iterator that aggregate elements from each of the iterable into tuple. In simple word, it pairs the element from the two different iterable element wise. I hope you got the idea how this zip is working, right? Perfect. Now let's see that how under the hood this zip function works. Then we'll see more example on zip. So if you want to understand how zip works, you already have some clarity. This is how it is working inside the zip. So now let's try to make the custom zip function. So I'll write over here def zips, and over here I want to pass the iterable. Because if you see the syntax of this zip also, so the syntax of zip is zip and iterable 1 comma iterable 2 comma dash iterable n. Okay, so this is how this syntax works of the zip. This is a syntax of zip, guys. Okay, now let's move to the creation of a custom zip function. So what I'm doing over here, I'm taking the iterable. Why I'm using the asterisk over here? It means that I can pass n number of iterable to this. Like I have a 5 list, so at a time I can pass the 5 list to this function if I'm using the asterisk over here. Perfect. After this, what do you want? I want to iterate this list, right? Whatever the list I got over here, I want to iterate that. So how you will do that? So I'll write over here iterator, or let's try to print also. We'll try to print this what we get over here, so it will be easy for you to understand. So this is input what you have passed. Perfect. All good, guys. After that, I'll write over here iterable we have passed iterator. I'll take one I will take over here one variable that is called iterator. Iterator equal to over here for iter iter is a key function, or you can say reserved word, so I'll write it in this iterable. Okay, and then over here itr, iter of it. What is iter of it? I'll explain you that also. Just have a patience and try to understand this. After that, print, and right over here I have created iterator and paste over here. All good, guys? After that, what I want over here, just create one comma, and then over here, once I have this, I want while true, and over here for item in this iterator. Okay, and I will take one, let's say result equal to one empty list, and then over here what I'll do, result dot append next of your item. I'll pass over here, and at the end I want to return this result. But if I keep this while true, means it will run for the infinite loop. So I want to close this also. So how we can do that? What I'll do over here, I'll take a count equal to length of this iterable. Okay, this iterable, I'll take the length, and over here I'll see if your count is greater than equal to 0, then run this loop for that time, and I will try to decrement my count by 1. Okay, now let's try to run this and do one thing. Let's try to print everywhere so we get some idea what is happening. Checking the count of length of iterable, and over here you just pass the count. All good. After that, let's try to give the print function over here and pass the item. Okay, and what this next of item doing, let's try to print that also. So let's first write over here that checking from the for loop items. Okay, and next what you do, that you print again, I am checking what next function is returning. Okay, and over here you just pass this next of item. All good, guys? Now let's try to execute this line of code, and then take one or two lists and try to pass over here. So I'll take, let's say, these two lists from here. We already have these two lists, right? So I'll copy this from here and I will paste it over here, and then I will call this gyps function. As soon as I pass this over here, and then I'll pass this num comma num2. All good. Let's see that if throwing its error or it's giving the result. Perfect. 2 and 6. Do one thing. What I'll do over here, I'll save this to result, and at the end I want to print this result as well. And this result is not giving anything. Why so? It is under this. Maybe I need to pass over here after this while loop. Let me see if I could see something. 2648. Okay, let's try to debug this where we are doing the mistake. So as soon as you pass this num and num2, this is the input what you have passed. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, the first nums and the second one. Okay, so we have reached over here. Then we are over here for it in iterable and iter of it, and we save into that variable iterator, and I try to print that, and it is giving the this object. So what is the meaning of this? It means that the object of iterator is saved somewhere at this memory location. Fine. Checking the count of the length of iterable 2. Why it is giving 2? Because we have passed 2 list over here, right? 1 and 2. That's why it's giving 2 over here. So what we need to do over here, iterator 1. Let's pass 1 over here. How it is working? Let's see. 4. Now we have a 4 over here. Why? Because at 1 you have a 1 2 3 4. Now we have some issue over here. So I have already solved the bug. So what was the bug actually? So I have used the next function twice under the print and under the result.append. So next function basically give the next value, which is after your iter. So when I am using two different places this next, so this item under the your iterator getting exhausted before completing the count of while. So because of that I was getting error. So if you are not understanding that, that's okay. I'll cover that next function how it is working later on. Okay, first try to understand how this function chip under the hood works. So I have created similar custom function which is equal to the zip, and try to give your some information how the zip function works. Okay, so I have taken one def, which is a user defined function. Then I'm taking the name of this function zips, and I'm passing iterable. And why strict means I can pass n number of basically iterable to that. Then I'm trying to print your input whatever you are passing. Then I'm creating one list comprehension over here. Under this list comprehension, I'm iterating your input and I'm passing into the iter and creating one list comprehension and saving into your iterator, and trying to print what is the element or value you have under this iterator. Perfect, guys. Then I'm taking the length of your one of the iterator. One of the iterator is nothing but, let's say, num, and under that we have a 4 element. So the length of that is 4. So it will return 4 basically to the count. After that I'm checking the what is the value under the count variable. Then I'm taking one list, empty list over here. Then I'm using one while loop over here, and I mention count greater than equal to 1. Then whatever we have in the iterator, I'm iterating that, and I'm also checking what is the count at that stage. And after that I am appending that item using the next into this result. And after that I'm coming out of the for loop and I'm decrementing the count. Okay, and at the end I'm returning the result. So let's run this, okay, and then run this also. So as soon as you run this, the very first is this is the input what you have passed. So first list and the second list, and after the list comprehension, the iterator which is here right now, it is giving you two different object of the list iterator, at this one and this one. So this is basically a list iterator at this memory location, object of list iterator at this memory location. Then you have a count as a 4, and after that you are going inside the for loop. Under the for loop you are basically iterating your iterator, means this one, you are iterating this part. So as soon as you iterating this part, what you are getting, list iterator object at this location. So you are getting this same exactly same issue. See 5 db520 db520. Then next you have a this location 96f0, that is 0 actually, 96f0, and then db520. So first you are getting this, then this one, again this part, then this part. So one by one you are getting the, you are iterating your iterator, and later on you are using that item under the next, which is converting your memory location into the element, and you are getting 15265748. that is 15263748. Perfect. But it is not converting into tuple because I have not converted into tuple over here. So this is how your inbuilt zip function works. So now let's understand how this iter and next function works. So what I'll do, I'll take this iterable over here, okay, and I'll paste it over here. Then I will use over here, let's say iterator variable, basically iterator equal to, I'll take iter, and under that I'll pass this num. After that, let's try to print this, print your iterator, basically you print your iterator. So you'll get this iterator object at this memory location. Perfect. Now what I'll do, if you want also without saving into the variable, if you try to run this, you will get this. So every time it is saving this at different memory location. Perfect. Now what it is doing, how it is working, I'll explain that. Just have some patience. Now what I'll do over here, I'll use the next, and I'll pass this iterator to this directly. Okay, you'll get 1. Again, I'll take the next and I'll pass this iterator to this. Okay, so it will give 2. So now what I'll do, I'll just write print and I'll pass this complete next and iterator to this. Okay, then again print and pass this to this. Okay, if you see 3 and 4. So now the question is how this is working. So what it is happening over here, see, this is your iterable, right? This is your list iterable. Iter is doing nothing. It is basically a checkpoint which showing that what are the items are in queue, and it is passing to the process next, which will execute that. So think like this. Let's say that you are in the airport queue and the person, cops are sitting there who is saying which person to go next. So that will be your iter. And the next, whenever it passes to next, there will be a checkpoint which will check that person and it will release that. So it means that next function is the person who is checking that person, and iter is the cops who is sending person one by one. So if you are not able to understand that, let me explain this again. See over here. So people are in queue, that is iterable. So your list which is over here, that is the pupil. Okay, next you have a person over here, a cops who is saying who is next and calling that function, that is your iter. Iter is basically a person or you can say cops who is controlling the entire queue and sending the person in order whichever is coming and the first. Okay, and then next is the step forward who is processing that person and executing back, returning that, I mean. So from this you I think got some idea how this iter and next is working. So your queue will be the list, and the cops who is basically monitoring the entire queue, that is the iter, and the next is something sending that forward. And this is how under the hood your zip function works. But this is not the exact code of your zip function. Zip function works with a different code. So your zip function works with this function, guys. What I have changed with this function to this function is I have not used over here any try and catch. If you see over here, it has used the try and catch, right? See, try and expect, that is basically catch we call in, which basically stopping the your iteration. And for stopping the iteration we have used the count, but it has used this try and catch to stop that. Okay, and it is we have used the return, it has used the yield. So I have not explained this yield, try and exception. That's why I have not taken this code to explain you under the hood how zip function works. But you can get the idea under the hood how the zip function execute the code. Okay, perfect. So now let's go to the next example and try to understand some of the zip related examples. So next example is adding two list index element wise. So we have a list 1 and list 2, and I want to add these two. So how it would be working? So for I comma j in zip, okay, and over here you pass your list 1 comma list 2. Perfect. Or if you want, what I'll do over here, I will use result equal to, let's say, zip of this list 1 comma list 2. So first I am basically zipping both the list into index wise element. Okay, now let's print this. Print your result. I'll take this and I'll paste over here. Perfect. Now instead of taking this over here, I'll take the result. Perfect. And then print your I comma j comma and your addition. So I'll do one thing. I'll just pass over here plus symbol. Okay. And at the end, you will write I plus j and use the comma over here. So how this is going to execute? Let's see. So 1 plus 5 is 6, 2 plus 6 equal to 8, and 3 plus 7 equal to 10, 4 plus 8 equal to 12. If you, and this one giving the zip object basically. So because I have not converted into the list, so let's convert this into list. Then it will return the element basically. See, 1 5 2 6 3 7 4 8, and then here is the result of two addition of two element index wise. Okay, now let's see the next example, guys. Next example is we have a 3 list and we want to zip together element wise. So it is very simple. I think you know very well, no need to explain also, but still I will explain this. Okay, so let's say list 1 comma list 2 comma list 3. Perfect. Now execute this and pass over here list of result. You have a 1a true, 2b false, 3c true. Perfect. All going good. Now let's say the next example, guys. So I have a key and value and I want to zip this as a dictionary. So key will be name and value will be Gupta, age will be key again and value will be 25, city will be key and value will be Delhi. So how we can do this? So it is very easy. Again, result equal to, I'll take the zip and over here keys comma values, and over here as I want key and values, so it should be dictionary, so I'll pass over a dict and then print your result. See, name and their value, key is age and value 25, city is the key and Delhi is the again value. Perfect. Now let's see the next example. So next example is I have a two list. One is the old price, another is the new price. I want to compare which price has increased and which price has decreased compared to the old price. So what you will do in this case? So again, price equal to zip and over here old price comma new price. Perfect. Then convert this into list. Now try to print this first. Print price. So you have a old and new price of every index, right? So 100, 100, 110, 110 and 200, 110, 200, 110. Sorry, 200, 190, 200, 190, 300, 310, 300, 310. Perfect. Now what I'll do over here for first one is a old price, right? So old price comma new price in this price. Then if your old price is less than your new price, so in that case, what you will print? Print your old price comma new price and print over here price increased. Price increased. Okay. Else you print over here price decreased. So take this and paste and write here price decreased. Now print this. So 100 old price and new price, guys. It should be new price. 100 110 price increase, 200 190 price decrease, 300 310 price increased, right? So this is how it works using the zip, guys. Perfect. So now let's see the next example. So next example is, let's say we already have this zip list. I want to unzip this. How will you unzip this? So unzip equal to, right over here zip, and you pass the asterisk and this zip list to this, and now print your unzip. It will give the object list1 comma list2 equal to list of this unzip, and after that print your list1 and print your list2. So here you have 1 2 3 1 2 3 and ABC. So how it is working? If you have already the zip list of tuple, in that case you use the zip function and use the asterisk. Asterisk is used to reverse from zip to unzip, and you pass your zip list. So this will create the object of your what? Zip. After that you can pass under the list and use two different lists. If there is a two different list over here, or two element, then use the two different list. If it is a three element, use the three different list over here, or variable I would say. Then it will unzip your element into the list1 and list2. Perfect, guys. Now let's see the next example. Next example is, I have one dictionary and I want to unzip this. So the key will be under one variable and value will be under the one variable. So how I can do this? So for this I'll use, let's say, unzip equal to, again zip asterisk of your result. Perfect. And after this over here, let's say list1 comma list2 equal to list of your unzip result dot it should be result dot items basically, because it's a dictionary, and over here you pass this, and then let's take this over here and paste, because list1 and list2 is same, so I have just copy pasted from there. And you have this one list for key, one list for. So this is all about this video, guys. I think you have understand how the zip function works under the hood, how it basically get coded, and in which scenario you can use the zip. So thank you so much. Stay connected and see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon, guys. Thank you so much.